Christian and gospel music. Michael English has experienced extraordinary success, profound personal failure, and a profoundly introspective recovery. In addition to his musical career, his narrative also includes his personal hardships, including his marriage to Lisa English, their subsequent divorce, and the years that followed. As he left gospel music, Michael English was a renowned artist and a troubled person. For more than 10 years, this essay delves deeply into that complicated period of his life, emphasizing his connection with his wife, his personal decline, and his potent life-changing quest for atonement. Michael and Lisa English, a tragic love story. Many people thought that Michael English and Lisa would have a lasting marriage based on their similar beliefs and ideals. The couple spent 11 years together raising a daughter, negotiating the demands of public life, and creating a family based on Christian values. Throughout Michael's ascent in the gospel music industry, Lisa was a rock of support. They appeared to be the epitome of the perfect Christian family. However, there are frequently costs associated with celebrity, particularly in the music industry. Personal temptations, public scrutiny, and the difficulties of continuous touring can wear one down. Despite having a solid base, the marriage started to show signs of weakness. Despite the fact that neither Michael nor Lisa discussed the specifics of their divorce in any detail in public, it is obvious that both of them suffered greatly as their relationship fell apart. Years later in interviews, Michael would allude to emotions of remorse, guilt, and mental pain that resulted from his own decisions during that time, as well as the breakdown of the marriage. Not only was the divorce a formal conclusion, but it also signaled the end of a chapter full of hopes, faith, and family goals. More than just a tale of one man's ascent, decline, and redemption, Michael English's journey serves as a mirror for anybody who has experienced personal failure and yearned for a second chance. His life serves as a reminder that forgiveness is not always simple, healing is not always immediate, and it takes courage and time to regain trust, whether it be with oneself, one's family, or one's faith. His voice ultimately conveys the silent strength of survival in addition to the power of song. His tale serves as a ray of hope for people going through their own difficulties. Grace never turns out the light, no matter how far you've traveled. The decline of grace. When Michael English fell from grace in the middle of the 1990s, the gospel community was rocked. He was at the height of his fame and well known for his expressive lyrics and strong voice. When the controversy broke out, he received several Dove Awards in 1994, including Artist of the Year. He faced severe criticism after confessing to an adulterous romance with another gospel artist a few days later. Consequently, churches and venues started to cancel his performances, and his record label pulled his album. This issue had a significant impact on his marriage as well as his career. The affair was undoubtedly a turning point that altered everything. Even though it might not have been the only reason for the divorce, private reconciliation was made even more challenging by the public character of his failure. After years of supporting Michael, Lisa now had to deal with betrayal, public exposure, and the breakdown of a life centered on faith and ministry. Their daughter had to grow up in the midst of chaos while the Christian world watched, existing in the shadow of responsibilities. Following the scandal, Michael went through a period of introspection. He battled remorse about the hurt he brought to his wife, daughter, fans, and himself. In addition to the affair, Michael opens up about his journey into spiritual and emotional darkness in his autobiography The Prodigal Comes Home. He talks about the overwhelming weight of humiliation, the loss of his identity, and restless nights, realizing that his actions had severely hurt those closest to him in addition to ruining his public image. This was one of the most challenging parts of this period. Even if Lisa didn't say anything, she was still a silent reminder of the dedication and family life he had lost, a period of seclusion and introspection. Michael English left the gospel music scene in the years after his divorce. He didn't perform or put out new Christian music for almost 3 years. This time was a spiritual exile. Michael lived with friends Ashley and Juana Judd, who provided him with a safe haven while he worked to start again. During his lowest points, the Judds, who were well known for their own hardships and redemptive experiences, provided him with support. Michael was able to face his issues, reaffirm his faith, and start the healing process with them. Isolation during this time was difficult. It entailed battling depression, addiction, and a purpose crisis. During this period, Michael publicly acknowledged that he struggled with prescription drug use, which was brought on by both physical and mental suffering. Nevertheless, seeds of change were being sown in the midst of this mayhem. Redemption via sincerity. Michael English's subsequent comeback to music was characterized by humility rather than success. He returned to the spotlight with a fresh sense of vulnerability. The polished image of the untouchable gospel star was no longer his. Rather, he portrayed himself as a wounded man who had been restored by grace. This change started to show in his music. The essence of atonement, forgiveness, and human development was encapsulated in albums such as Some People Change and The Prodigal Comes Home. His voice was still strong, but it now wore the weight of life, pain, regret, and finally serenity. Michael established a new bond with his audience by being candid about his divorce, his shortcomings, and his recuperation, not because he was flawless but because he was genuine. Many fans who had previously turned away started to listen again. Michael's honesty turned out to be his best asset in a society that frequently demands perfection. A fresh connection with religion, redefining his relationship with his faith, was one of the journey's most significant results. He had finally felt God's love in the most intimate way, in the background rather than in the spotlight. After years of preaching and acting about it, through his rehabilitation and divorce, he realized that grace is a lived experience rather than a theological idea. He witnessed how even the most vulnerable may be touched by heavenly love. He discovered that forgiveness involves giving as well as receiving, particularly toward oneself. His message became centered on this spiritual regeneration. Michael started speaking from lived wisdom rather than theory. Whether he was speaking on stage or in interviews, he now testified to God's grace rather than claiming to be a model of Christian perfection. Thoughts on Lisa in history. Lisa English has never been disparaged by Michael English in public. Rather, he has consistently conveyed appreciation and sadness for their time together and the resulting suffering. He has apologized for the harm done to their relationship and acknowledged making terrible mistakes in interviews. Lisa remains in Michael's life as a reminder of what was lost and what it took to rebuild it. Even though they parted ways, their grown daughter symbolizes their enduring relationship. Despite acknowledging that his decisions caused tension in his relationship with her, Michael has shown his love and appreciation for her. Lisa represents the life that Michael left behind yet still values in many ways. Fans who recognize the complexities of the situation have come to respect her for her position as a mother, her dignity, and her silence. The heritage of suffering and development, the story of Michael English's rise to fame, fall from grace, and return is more than just a warning. It is evidence of the potential for human development. Although it was a difficult time, his divorce from Lisa marked a sea change in his life. He discovered the value of responsibility, the strength in brokenness, and the restorative potential of grace via suffering. Michael still performs, talks, and writes. Now he tells his tale as an honest, unvarnished account of failure and salvation rather than as a polished version of faith. Once renowned for its elegant praise, his music now speaks to the complexity of everyday life. Those who think that there is always a way back, regardless of how deep one falls, can find inspiration in his story. The life of Michael English serves as a moving illustration of the precarious equilibrium between ability and temptation, achievement and grief, and faith and failure. A clear image of a man who was horribly damaged yet incredibly loved is painted by his marriage to Lisa. Living with friends like Ashley and Wayne Jed during his years away from gospel music played a significant role in molding him into the man he is today. Michael English has made the decision to define himself by his path of salvation rather than being remembered only for his transgressions. His narrative serves as a reminder that forgiveness is possible, mending takes time, and true faith is frequently forged in the furnace of failure in a world that frequently criticizes and forgets.